Hello, watch friends, and welcome to Watch Talk, my new short podcast style series where I ramble about random watch related topics in a more conversational format. A viewer of the channel once described me as gormless and boring. Ideal personal qualities for audio based content, I'm sure. This episode was inspired by grey market extraordinaire and business whiz Anthony Farah and his recent shenanigans. For those of you who don't know, Anthony Farah, aka the Timepiece Gentleman, is a grey market watch dealer from the good old USA. He recently announced that he was $5 million in debt to his customers/investors, which is a pretty mind-blowing amount of money to a peasant like me. He blamed the situation on various addictions and personal problems. Now, I can't promise I wouldn't spend $5 million on booze and drugs and gambling, but it's a crazy situation nonetheless if we take the confession at face value. Mr. Farah himself declared that the only way he would be able to recover people's money would be to continue watch trading, which to me is just delusional. That would be like making an arsonist the chief of the fire department. Yet many watch people came out in defence of Mr. Farah and said that he should be given chance to make things right, despite his long criminal history, which apparently people are supposed to ignore, even though it is a clear indication of a person's character. A lot of the people who vouched for Mr. Farah deflected criticism by claiming they couldn't have known what would happen, or that situations like this happen all the time in the watch industry, which is very reassuring. I mean, do these people listen to themselves? What planet are they on? Now, whether or not Mr. Farah will face civil lawsuits or criminal charges remains to be seen, but really, his case is only the tip of the iceberg anyway. A few months back, there was a similar episode with some geezer called the Wizard, or something like that, who apparently defrauded people out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I don't know about you, but if a grown man starts going around calling himself the fucking Wizard, I would not be sending him a Timex, never mind a Rolex or any of my hard earned cash. But that's just me. A quick Google search brings up other worrying stories, like German company Watchmaster, which went out of business after being heisted for millions of dollars worth of watches, and Watch Trader in the UK, which was raided by the National Crime Agency in a money laundering probe. The truth of these matters is pretty murky, but even the slightest suspicion of foul play is enough to give people cause for concern, and rightly so. Are these examples exceptions to the rule, or are they indicative of a much more widespread problem? Well, they say, don't hate the player, hate the game, so let's hate the game. A lot of grey market watch dealers are simply a scourge on the watch industry. They add no real value. They are vultures, really, only interested in one thing. A dealer acquiring new Rolexes from the AD or flippers and selling them for a premium is doing no service to society. They are middlemen inserting themselves into a process to make a quick buck. Unfortunately, a lot of them are charismatic and otherwise likable characters, which means they garner huge support on social media, put on pedestals, and treated like gods by their loyal fans. The meteoric rise of the grey market dealer coincided with the global pandemic, and a perfect storm of lockdown boredom and stimulus checks meant people had more time and more money on their hands. The prices of luxury watches were pumped up like a bodybuilder on steroids, and this allowed existing dealers to make a lot of money, but more importantly, it attracted a lot of questionable characters enticed by the riches on offer. And you don't have to go far to find content where the stars are berating so called customers in fake telephone calls or acting like fools, and it's just not the way professionals do business. It's certainly not the way I would like to do business. These sorts of characters might make for interesting viewing if that's your sort of thing, but otherwise it's clownish and stupid. And then there are the grey market dealers who will attempt to manipulate the market by buying up certain brands or certain models to try to create a shortage and create an artificial demand. There are dealers who will flip watches through their network of dealers who will all whack their margin on top, forcing prices up for end buyers. There are dealers who will sell Franken watches put together with incorrect parts or even fake parts, or new old stock watches or unpolished watches which have clearly been worn or polished in the past but are sold as like new. If there's a sneaky way to make more money, you can be sure that these people will find it. One of the biggest issues is consignment. Consignment is when a dealer takes possession of a watch, but not ownership, and sells the watch on behalf of a customer for a commission. The idea is that you'll get a higher price because the dealer doesn't have to risk holding the inventory, and if the watch is less desirable, they will be able to find a buyer for a watch they otherwise wouldn't buy or sell. In reality, there are a few reasons why dealers might offer consignment. For example, the dealer has no money. They simply can't afford to buy your watch. Or the dealer is inexperienced and doesn't know the real value of your watch and doesn't want to make the mistake of paying too much, or prices are too volatile and it's too risky to buy inventory that could lose value very quickly. One of the more nefarious reasons is the dealer uses money made from consignment watches to fund his business by churning money through multiple deals and transactions. A dealer can sell a consignment watch and use that money to purchase other watches before the consignee is told that their watch has been sold and is sent the money. It's an easy way for newer dealers to raise the funds to quickly gain access to more expensive pieces, and it's a faster way of getting a seat at the top table. It's certainly a lot faster than buying inventory, selling it, and repeating the process for many years, and actually building a solid business through experience and knowledge. Therefore, it's pretty obvious that consignment is mostly in the interest of the grey market dealer. The problem is that any number of things can happen while your watch is on consignment. Aside from the dealer selling the watch without your knowledge, the dealer might claim to have been forced to sell it for a lower price and pocket the difference. Or your watch could get damaged or lost or stolen. The dealer could go bust. Or, as recent history shows, the dealer could simply be a complete fraudster. It's easy to think that victims of dodgy dealers are other dodgy dealers, and that certainly is true sometimes, or rich people with money to burn. But there are people who scrimped and saved for years to get these sorts of watches. So while sympathy for the wealthy may be in short supply, spare a thought for those who are just like you and me. The question with dodgy dealers is, are these people upstanding citizens who lost their way, or have they always been shady characters? The answer is definitely a bit of both. Decent people can be corrupted by money, but also, where there is money to be made, crooks are never far away. We're talking loan sharks and money launderers, mobsters, you name it. You only have to take half a look at some of these people to know that they are unpleasant characters. And that's one of the reasons these people never really get called out. They're perhaps not the sorts of people you really want to mess with. Of course, these types of people exist in every industry. Some people are just fundamentally dishonest. It's one of those sad realities of life. The naysayers will say to me, "Where's your evidence? Where's your proof?" This happened in a previous video I made about Rolex and the grey market. The truth is, the bootlickers can't wait to march into battle to defend huge companies and dealers that don't even know them and don't even give a single damn about them. But the evidence and proof is all around us. It's called human nature. On a personal level, I would really love to get into vintage luxury watches, but as someone fairly new to the watch world, having only been collecting for a few years, it becomes more disheartening by the day as some of the realities of the watch industry become apparent. I often wonder, is it worth the risk, or do I just stick to the affordable end of the market where I can have fun without getting badly burned? Let me know in the comments down below what you think. And if you enjoyed this episode and didn't think that it was a total flop, please let me know and consider liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate that. That's all I've got time for today. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.